Good morning, everybody. I'd like to bring this meeting of the Pinellas County Commission to order. Please, it is Tuesday, May 9th, and if we could all stand while we have a little bit of a switch in the agenda this morning because we have Reverend Clarence Williams from Greater Mount Zion AME Church will be doing the invocation. Come on up. Hello, how are you this morning?
Madam Chair, members of the
Nice to
Commission,
see you.
let us look to God. Father, we're thankful and grateful for this wonderful privilege. Thank you now for the United States of America, for its vastness, for its diversity. Thank you now for the state of Florida, and especially for Pinellas County. Thank you for the members of this council, for the leadership therein. Bless them, we pray, individually and collectively, the families from which they come. We're grateful, O God, for their commitment, for their dedication toward helping our community become better. Bless these constituents that are here, these business people, homeowners, taxpayers, who come to debate and deliberate for the betterment of all. We pray, O God, that as these deliberations continue, that you will grant us the power and the love to spread these wonderful ideas throughout our country, permeating our young people, so they may take their place and do those things which are right in our country. And, oh God, we know that armed with thy powerful hand and your word, we will be able to establish your justice among nations and among men. Amen.
Amen. And Commissioner Peters will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
My pastor. That's my pastor.
Thank you, Pastor. So we have one item that we're going to take out of order this morning, and that is number 4, the National Drug Court Month proclamations, and I believe that Judge Todd is here. Hi, good morning, how are you? Would you join us at the podium, please? And Commissioner Peters is going to come down with me. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
I've never done this either, so.
Well, we certainly don't want you to be late to the drug court this morning.
Okay.
So we're taking you first.
Thank you.
So the adult court was established in Pinellas County in 2001, and it has helped so many people through the path to recovery. It is with great pleasure that I present this proclamation to Judge Kimberly Todd from the 6th Judicial Circuit. And Commissioner Peters is going to read the proclamation for you and present it to you. All right? You're welcome. Commissioner Peters, here you go.
There you go. It is my pleasure to read this proclamation. Whereas treatment courts have been restoring lives and families for more than 3 decades nationally, and whereas the Pinellas County Drug Court was established in 2001, and whereas the treatment courts are the cornerstone of justice reform sweeping the nation, and whereas they are now recognized as the most successful justice system intervention in our nation's history, and whereas Pinellas County Drug Court serves an average of 400 individuals per year, and whereas they save an average of $6,000 for every individual that they serve. Whereas treatment courts significantly improve substance use disorder treatment outcomes, substantially reduce the addiction and related crimes, and do so at less expensive than any other criminal justice strategy. Whereas treatment courts improve education, employment, housing, and financial stability, promote family reunification, reduce foster care placements, and increase the rate of addicted mothers delivering babies who are fully drug-free. And whereas treatment courts facilitate community-wide partnerships, bringing together public safety and public health professionals. And whereas treatment courts demonstrate that when one person rises out of substance use and crime, we all rise. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Pinellas County Board of County Commissions that the month of May be recognized as Drug Court Month. And I want to thank Judge Todd for being here. And I toured her court, and what she is doing is really, truly amazing. And I think she's taken drug court in Pinellas County to a whole nother level. And she's using a lot of creative therapies. And so also I'm really proud to announce that there's a partnership with Creative Pinellas. And so all of those creative therapies that they've done through art expression will actually have an opportunity to be shown in a gallery, which I think is amazing and can really do a lot to raise the spirits of these participants in our court. So Art in Recovery is the name of the exhibit, and the artwork from the 6th Judicial Court, a Drug Court Veteran Treatment Court exhibit. So it opens, the opening reception will be May 24th from 6 to 8 p.m., and the exhibit will go from May 25th through July 16th. The gallery at Creative Pinellas, creativepinellas.org/art in recovery. And I hope some folks will come and take a look in the gallery and see the most amazing art that these folks have done to help them through their therapy and through the process. So thank you so much, Judge.
I just want to thank everyone in the county for all your support of drug court. You all are amazing the way you support us. I have individuals that come to our drug court and observe and make sure that everyone's doing what they need to do as far as our providers. And this event is going to be amazing. All the artwork is done by the participants I see in court, and they're excited about it. There'll probably be some people there telling their story. So it really is a wonderful thing, and thank you so much, Commissioner Peters, for doing the proclamation, and thank you, Commissioner Long. Yeah, it's good. Good seeing you. All right, yeah.
Good to see you on top. You're going to turn that around.
Okay, I told you I never did this before.
Mr. Flowers, will you go a little farther this way? That's good.
It's like a wedding.
Come on, Tony. You get 2 shots at it.
Two's good, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I have it. Someone floating around.
Now we're going to recognize the Emergency Medical Services Professional of the Year Awards. I would like to acknowledge that the Pinellas Federal Credit Union has supported the Emergency Medical Services Professional of the Year Awards for 33 years. Since the first awards were given in 1990, Jim Kreider, Vice President of Lending, and Yariel Alvarez, Assistant to Vice President of Branch Operations, are here to help us present the awards and give a gift to each award recipient. Please join me at the podium. Thank you. Each year, the Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners recognizes the 3 individuals named Emergency Medical Services Professionals of the Year. First, we're going to play a video that will introduce these emergency medical professionals and highlight their award-winning efforts. So please give your attention to the screens.
Members of Pinellas County's Emergency Medical Services team save lives every day. This year, 3 individuals stand out as 2023's Emergency Medical Services Professionals of the Year. His ability to quickly identify a rare and life-threatening situation is what makes Craig Brown Paramedic of the Year. In February, he was dispatched to the scene of a home birth where the mother was in critical condition with a complication that occurs in only 1% of pregnancies.
The patient had something happen to her that I'd never personally seen or heard of, and well, you've heard of it, but you've never experienced it. You're not trained on it very often.
Craig credits his unit for teaching him to keep his cool and delegate effectively, which helped him save both mother and baby.
I learned how to manage and delegate on a scene from the lieutenants I've worked with here, from the paramedics that I've learned from the LRs of this department. It's a great support group around that will break down every call that you're on and kind of just teach you the way to do it better next time.
He encourages anyone with an interest in helping people to pursue a career as a paramedic.
The satisfaction of knowing that no matter what you do on a call, you've probably made somebody's day or life a little bit better. You got to understand that it's the worst day of their life, and you're here to make it better. And once you do that, you have a sense of accomplishment.
Joe Modal's ability to stay calm and walk 911 callers through difficult situations is why he's been named Emergency Medical Dispatcher of the Year.
911, what is the address of the emergency?
With a background in fire rescue, Joe uses his knowledge and understanding of emergency situations to help his callers.
I'm very familiar with what the crews in the field, the information that they need and how quickly that they need it. And that information or that experience has also, allowed me to realize the importance of gaining that information as quickly and accurately as we can and getting it forwarded on to the crews. And I have a visual understanding of what it is that they see and do.
Earlier this year, a Dunedin woman called 911 when she noticed her neighbor's home was up in flames. Fortunately, Joe was on the other end of the line to help.
The human occupants had exited, but they were concerned about their pets, and they were, despite very succinct instructions, do not go back inside, were attempting to rescue their pets. So I was speaking with the second party caller and just letting her know to reinforce for them not to go back inside, and she was doing an absolutely fantastic job considering the circumstances.
Don't go in. Do not go in.
Do not go inside the house. Do not go inside.
I know, but we don't want you hurt.
The other young lady sent an email, said thanks. And that's all you need, somebody to say thanks. You make a difference.
His dedication to the job and willingness to help those around him at any time is why Chris Barnes is Emergency Medical Technician of the Year. One Sunday, while off duty, Chris was in the right place at the right time to help a stranger in need.
When I was in Orlando, I was at Fun Fly doing remote control helicopters that I do with a bunch of buddies of mine in my free time. And there was a guy flying, and he actually, in the middle of flying, coded.
Chris immediately jumped into action and performed CPR until local responders arrived.
When they came out, we let them do their thing, and apparently he got Rosca and came back good.
After 4 years on the job, Chris is thankful to have found a career he finds so rewarding.
I enjoy helping people when something good comes of it, and in the end, when you see a positive outcome, it's a nice feeling.
The Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners congratulates Craig Brown, Joe Modal, and Chris Barnes, the 2023 EMS Professionals of the Year. On behalf of the county, thank you to all of our emergency professionals for your service.
So we'll take these individually. So would Mr. Craig Brown please join me at the podium? Good morning. Well, you look just like you did in the video. Welcome. Craig showed exceptional leadership and compassion during a complicated call involving an unstable new mother and her newborn baby. Craig requested appropriate resources, delegated tasks to additional personnel, and developed a concrete plan of care, resulting in a positive outcome by saving the lives of both patients. Craig, a county medic for 2 years, is being recognized as the 2023 Paramedic of the Year for his accelerated experience and clinical expertise. Congratulations, Craig. And he doesn't want to speak, but look at that. He's very humble on top of everything else.
Does he have any family?
Thank you. Do you have any family that are here?
Just my chief.
Just your chief? Oh, well, I'm sure you're like a brotherhood, right? Chief, do you want to please come up and join the picture? All right.
This is our Chief of EMS, Division Chief of EMS, Chief Andrew Hughes, and this is our Fire Chief, Chief Brett Slatter.
There you go.
So now gather in so we can get our picture taken. Thank you. Such a perfectionist.
One more time.
Flash is not working. He needs batteries in that flash.
So, Chief, would you like to say anything on behalf of the?
Sure. Just on behalf of all the fire departments, all the EMS departments, I know 911 communications, people that work for us are obviously the most important people, taking care of your constituents, our citizens, us, and they just do an incredible job. The dedication from the men and women in this service is unbelievable, and we really appreciate the recognition for that. So thank you.
You're welcome. And we certainly appreciate you all as well. Thank you so much. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
So what's in the envelopes?
And next, I would like to ask Joe Motrell to join me at the podium. Joe, please come forward. Joe Motrell has 25 years of experience in emergency services with 5 years as an EMT and 20 years with Tampa Fire Rescue. He efficiently and effectively handles calls while providing necessary support. He has been personally thanked by citizens for his assistance and is highly collaborative and shares his experience with colleagues. He fosters a positive team culture and creates a supportive work environment, demonstrating dedication to his work and colleagues. Joe is professional, kind, and deserving of the Emergency Medical Dispatcher of the Year. Congratulations. You're welcome. You're very welcome. So, here, how about we get you in the, here we go. Do you have someone else? Is your family?
This is the manager of the 911 center.
The manager of the 911 center.
Taking final exams today.
Oh, my. Well, welcome. Thank you. Do you want to introduce yourself and say a couple words?
Sure. My name is Michelle Peterson, and I'm the operations manager of Regional 911. First of all, I just want to say that we appreciate Joe so much, his experience, his perspective, and he is truly passionate when he's helping and assisting the citizens within this community. I mean, he is amazing to work with, so thank you very much, Joe.
And thank you for being here today. So, do you want to say a few?
Yeah, just real quick. So while I'm standing here, there's a few dozen people that are down in the 911 center that are doing the job and doing it 24/7 and doing it fantastic. Congratulations to the brothers who got the award from the local fire departments. You know, well deserved. It's a huge team effort. Pinellas County Commission, you should be proud of the people that you have providing emergency services. I've been doing this since 1985, okay? The system here in Pinellas County is top of the line, no question. So thank you very much.
And we work really hard to keep it that way, so don't forget that either. Okay. All right. Mr. Photographer, Mr. Perfectionist, we don't want to take our picture. I think you need, hey, I think you need new batteries for that flash, by the way. Now we're going to have the mic. Sorry. This is the 2023 Emergency Medical Services Professional of the Year Awards. Chris Barnes, would you please come join me at the podium? Good morning. How are you? Oh, look, we have a whole contingent. Oh, look who's here. Hi, Chief. Come, you want to stand on the other side of me so we have a little balance? Okay, firefighter Chris Barnes, with almost 4 years of experience at Pinellas Suncoast, is a skilled and motivated individual. He excels in mechanics, providing an advantage in driving, fire control systems, elevator rescues, and vehicle extrication. Chris enjoys flying remote-controlled helicopters in his spare time. While flying his helicopter off-duty, Chris sprang into action when an individual collapsed nearby. Chris performed CPR, resulting in the individual regaining a pulse and potentially saving their life. Chris is a great mentor and role model to new firefighters, ensuring they are knowledgeable about equipment and demonstrating a positive attitude towards the department and community, and deserving of the Firefighter EMT of the Year Award. Congratulations, Chris. Would you like to say a few words? What? Yeah. I've never met such a shy group of firemen. What? Uh-huh, okay. So,
I can say something for him.
well, are you part of this group?
I am.
You are?
Oh, my God. This is our...
Well, Chief, how did you not let us know this? Well, sure, go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Doug Higley. I'm Assistant Chief at Pinellas Suncoast. I had the pleasure of mentoring Chris kind of when he started, so he worked for me. I knew he would do great things, and I am not surprised in the least that he's standing up here today. He is a fine example of the 35 other men and women that work for our department and the many of others that work in the county. So we're very pleased and excited for Chris. Thank you.
Well, thank you. So, Chief, do you want to say a few words and maybe introduce the rest of your colleagues? That would be nice. You're welcome.
Good morning. I'm Jeffrey Davidson, the Fire Chief for Pinellas Suncoast. We're very proud of Chris. He is such an asset to not only our organization, but the entire community. And he's always doing good things in everything that he does. I know his parents are here, so good job, Mom and Dad. Thank you very much. But I want to introduce the rest of our team and Chris's team. This is District Chief Todd Best, he's Chris's shift commander, okay, and Lieutenant Matt Ziner and Lieutenant Matt Tomalonis. They're on any given day could be Chris's supervisors and working alongside of him. And everybody has great things to say about Chris, the pride in everything that he does. The equipment that he's responsible for and takes care of is always taken care of very highly. So we're really, really proud of Chris, and I know he's going to continue to do good things. And we want to say thank you for recognizing Chris and all the first responders and the dispatchers and everybody out there. Thank you very much. What they do is not a easy thing to do. So, thank you.
And we're very grateful too, and we all know that Mom and Dad had an awful lot to do with who this young man turned out to be. So don't go away, because after we get these pictures taken, we'd like to invite you up to get a picture as well. How about that? Yes? Okay, good. All right.
Flowers, shift a little bit more that way. That's perfect. Perfect. Come on, Flash. Sorry. All right, ready? I swear there's a brand new battery. Thank you.
Oh, parents.
Yes, we are.
Hey,
We were
sweetie.
just taking a break.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Try. Oh, he was trying to say.
Hey, Mom. Dad? Don't you want to be on the other side of it?
Try one more time.
Thank you.
Oh, were you here? I think I'm good. You think you're good?
I got something.
It's scary enough delivering a baby, I could only imagine.
And now I'd like to ask Craig Hare. I saw him. There you are. Hi, how are you? Very good. Come on up. So Craig is the Director of Emergency Medical Services and Fire Administration. He's going to be accepting the Emergency Medical Services Week Proclamation. The National Emergency Medical Services Week is an opportunity for all of us to reflect on the dedicated efforts of our EMS system personnel who provide compassionate quality care and service to our community every day, and the high skill level and professionalism of our emergency medical dispatchers, emergency medical technicians, and paramedics have enabled the EMS system to attain clinical excellence, and the long-standing partnerships with our fire rescue agencies for paramedic first response, the countywide paramedic ambulance service, and our hospitals allow emergency medical services to be provided seamlessly and our EMS providers made significant contributions and immeasurable sacrifices during our local response to the world coronavirus pandemic. Responded with compassionate care to the sick and vaccinated tens of thousands of citizens. And National EMS Week brings our community and EMS providers together to celebrate our accomplishments and rededicated ourselves to this mission. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners that the week of May 21st through May 27th, 2023 be recognized as Emergency Medical Services Week. And Craig, you've been here for a long time, so I don't know how many of these you probably have, but let me show this to you and then we'll get our picture taken, okay?
Yeah, just very quick. It's my 27th one, so just a couple of these I've been here for. And it's a hard act to follow. All of these awards, we have over 1,900 personnel that they all go above and beyond each day that they come to work and go out and respond to fires, respond to medical emergencies, represent our 18 fire departments, Sunstar, the County Ambulance Service, and just, it's an honor for me to accept this on behalf of them. And we'll pass this along to make sure that they know the board and administration and everyone's support for them.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. And so, this is the last one, and it's our, but not the least, I can share that with you. This is our Mental Health Awareness Month proclamation. I would like to ask Linda McKinnon, President and Chief Executive Officer of the Central Florida Behavioral Health Network, Dr. Yuli Cho, Director of the Florida Department of Health, Pinellas County, Beth Houghton, Chief Executive Officer of the Juvenile Welfare Board, Lourdes Benedict, Assistant County Administrator, with Pinellas County Assistant Chief Deputy David Zanzik, with the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, and Xiomara Bridges Mata, Executive Director of the National Alliance on Mental Illness of Pinellas County. Please join me at the podium. Hello. Okay. They're going to be accepting the Mental Health Awareness Month proclamation. This is a proven connection between good mental health and overall personal health. Mental illnesses affect almost every family in America. People with mental illnesses recover if given the necessary services and supports from their communities. People with mental illnesses make important contributions to our families and our communities. Millions of adults and children are disabled by mental illnesses every year. Only 1 out of 2 people with a serious form of mental illness seeks treatment for his or her mental illness. Stigma and fear of discrimination keep many who would benefit from mental health services from seeking help. Research shows that the most effective way to reduce stigma is through personal contact with someone with a mental illness. Good mental health is critical to the well-being of our families, communities, schools, and businesses. Greater public awareness about mental illnesses can change negative attitudes and behaviors towards people with mental illnesses. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners that the month of May 2023 be recognized as Mental Health Awareness Month to increase public understanding of the importance of mental health and to promote identification and treatment of mental illnesses. So as you can probably tell, this is a very important subject matter personally to me. So, and who is accepting the awards for this? Here you go. This is one. And Linda, thank you. And there you go. So, who wants to be the spokesperson? That would be lovely. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner, and thank you to our Board of County Commissioners. We get to do a lot in the mental health, behavioral health space. We're very blessed here in this county. We have a lot of issues in our community, just like they do across the country. It's pretty significant. It's a healthcare crisis, what we're all experiencing. And I get the privilege to work with this amazing team from the Pinellas Integrated Care Alliance. That's what we call ourselves. And they're the funders of the behavioral health system. And we come together monthly to make really tough decisions. Sometimes those meetings are not easy. We talk about contracts, we talk about measures, how we're holding folks accountable, and what's the best way we can deliver services together using all of our funding to serve our residents. And I want to just say to Linda, who is going to be the CEO of Central Florida Behavioral Health Network, and they get all of the state funding and work so closely with us. She's going to be retiring at the end of June after many years of leading that organization. She oversees several counties in the state of Florida, and we're very happy to have Linda and appreciate all of her work as we sit together again and make some really tough decisions every single month. So I just want to congratulate you as well as everyone else that's on this team, and Samara for being the CEO of NAMI. And I'm sure you probably want to say a couple words, so I will pass the mic.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners, for acknowledging NAMI Pinellas. As you know, this work is so important, if not then, now, and we are grateful for all the support. For those who are not aware of NAMI, we are a nonprofit, and we focus on advocacy, support, and education. We are proud to say that this fiscal year alone, we have served about 500 individuals through support groups. We have had 75 educational programs, and we cannot do that without the support of the community. And we are running our fundraiser campaign this month, and it is Compassion, Humanizing the Experiences Surrounding Mental Illnesses and Mental Health. So if you know anyone who can benefit from our services, we encourage you to visit our website at nami-pinellas.org. And thank you for this acknowledgement.
First, I want to commend this commission for its commitment to mental health services in the county, and let you know we get to see firsthand Lourdes and her team and their commitment to best practices within our county, and we all benefit from that. It's been a privilege to work with this group. Sometimes we collaborate, sometimes we divide and conquer, as is appropriate in the circumstance. The Juvenile Welfare Board's focus, of course, is on children and families, and we have been active in embedding mental health services in pediatric practices to be able to give access to mental health care to children and families before maybe they even know that they need it. So thank you for this commitment to mental health, and thank you to the Commission and everyone standing up here for their commitment.
Good morning, everybody. From a public health standpoint, mental health and substance use disorder has always been a top priority here. And I think one of the reasons is it's personal. You're either suffering from one of these disorders or you know somebody who is. And certainly from a overall health perspective, you really can't address things like diabetes or heart disease without simultaneously addressing that mental health issue. We need to come together as a community, work with this partnership. We're blessed to have these great partnerships here in Pinellas County sort of working to address this major issue. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. It's been an amazing journey that I've had
basically trying to protect and ensure a safety net of behavioral health services through 14 counties in Florida. And I will say that Pinellas County is probably the most invested county that I work with in terms of really wanting to prioritize access to services for the community and ensure that those services are all excellent. So thank you. It's been really, like I said, a great journey, and it's wonderful to see the things that are happening in this community.
Excellent. Thank you. So now we come to you. Last but not least.
No, just to echo what everybody says, on behalf of the 2,200 law enforcement officers in the county, we appreciate the proclamation. Our law enforcement and fire officials are the first responders to mental health crisis. We appreciate the collaboration, the board support. Our folks are out there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we appreciate working together with everybody. And really, this county has really set the bar and is continuing to set the bar in mental health treatment and emergency mental health treatment. So I hope to continue to work forward with everybody and see where it goes from here. So thank you very much for the honor.
And you're very welcome. So let's all close in and. Amen. And now we are on citizens to be heard. And the first one shall be Sharon Jank. Sharon Jank. Is Sharon Jank here? Aurelis? No? Okay. It doesn't say she's on the phone. No?
No, Madam Chair, there's no one registered via Zoom.
Okay. All right. Next is Courtney Melvin. Courtney Melvin? I promise you I didn't make these up.
It's just like this.
Courtney Melvin. No? Susan Hall. Morning.
Thank you. I'm Susan Hall. I live in historic Kenwood in Pinellas County, St. Petersburg, since 1987 at that address. I'm here to ask you once again to consider a ban of the sale of bunnies from pet stores and flea markets. And I thought maybe if you had a face to go along with the names, it might help. So I'd like to introduce you to, is that right?
Nope, right over that seal.
Oh.
There you go.
I'd like to introduce you to Finn, who is a dumped Pinellas County bunny, and he's the delight of my life. Finn came to me as a foster, and he stayed and he stayed and he stayed, and I couldn't find a home for him, and now I wouldn't want to. So Finn will be with me for the rest of his life. And then next we have Victorine, affectionately referred to as Wolverine, although she's never done anything to deserve that. And she is a foster. She also was a dumped bunny. She was near the Pinellas County Jail. She was with another foster mom for about a year, and now she's with me until such time as somebody steps up to the plate and takes her. And then we have Lorelei. And Lorelai's about 4 months old. She's absolutely adorable, and she's just a poop machine. These are characters. This one is AJ Cannon. He's been with me since 2018. He's the one that was dumped in a cardboard box in the Lowe's parking lot, the corral cart, with about 1.5 inches of water in the bottom of a Pepsi bottle. And this is his bun wife, Stormcloud, who also was dumped in Pinellas County. These bunnies exist. These are just the ones that I'm involved in. There's hundreds of them out there. And these two belong to the photographer. On the left is Charlie, who's a girl, and this is Gus. And they wandered into his yard because they were dumped someplace, and he took them in, and he's taking care of them. I've asked you for your help. We need to slow down the population of bunnies, and that starts at the pet stores where they're sold as a loss leader. These gentle, sentient creatures are being used to promote sales of hutches, and bunnies need to be inside, not outside in hutches. Their lifespan is considerably longer when they're taken care of properly. They require specialized veterinary care. The pet stores don't get an opportunity, nor do they care enough to tell people what they need to do to keep their bunnies healthy. A bunny that is cared for properly can have a lifespan of up to 10 years. Generally, they don't last 2 years. We find them on the streets. We get good Samaritans that call us. We got one this weekend. You can see his spine sticking up. He was in deep hypothermia. He's going to cost hundreds of dollars of donated money. Oh my goodness, I'm out of time already. Please, I'm asking you for your help.
Thank you. Thank you. Next is Robert Carter. Good morning.
Morning, Commissioners. I am here today because we have been communicating with commissioners, county officials, Lowman Exchange, people like Tom Amonte, and we just can't seem to get a major issue fixed in Lowman that has been going on for now since December. For the first 2 months of the year, we had 0 trash pickup in Lowman. Specifically, the Lincoln Place neighborhood, we had 0 trash pickup for 2 solid months. Me and about 6 other neighbors had been calling Coastal Waste every single day. We started contacting the county to figure out who we needed to contact at the county. We found that person after a lot of labored work to find that person, because Lowman Exchange was not directing people directly to her. Once we found that individual, which is Anna Jeffers, by the way, fantastic, doing everything within her power, but she is limited by the contract to do anything. To this day, we still do not have consistent trash pickup. This is 2023. I submitted a letter that hopefully got to all of you before today that was supposed to be included in the record. But one of the big things I want to point out, and I want you all to put this in your mind, think if this was your neighborhood, think if this was Terra Verde, think if this was Shore Acres, Snail Isle, and you had no trash pickup for 2 months, and nothing was being done publicly at the commissioner level for it. Nothing. Not one word, not one thing said. And we still do not have consistent trash pickup. I do not understand this in 2023 in a county of $1.7 billion in revenue, how we don't have trash pickup. And just to be clear for anyone here that doesn't know, Lowman trash pickup is contracted by the county. Lowman residents have no input. We can't even withhold funds for it because it's paid through our property taxes. So we have no tools as citizens to fight this, to do anything other than to constantly be calling, constantly talking to the commissioners and otherwise to try to get it fixed. And it's still not fixed today. The other major issue I came up here for today, Jewel White will be very aware of, is that the other big problem we have, especially in the Lincoln Place neighborhood, is proper notification from county. LPA meeting tomorrow was not properly communicated to most residents in Lincoln Place, including the largest property owner owns 5 acres. Previous communications for the form-based code have not been sent to residents of the Lincoln Place neighborhood and other parts of Lowman. This is a constant issue, and the Florida state statutes require that that is notified to us properly. Also, the code, both times it's been developed, has been developed in private. We have asked for the code multiple times, revisions to be published. That has never happened. They keep giving us the excuse that they can't post it for ADA reasons, even though that code is based on the same code that other cities in the county have used, so there's no reason why they can't submit it. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you. Tony Williams. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm back. So whenever you see me, you know it's going to be involving veterans and their families. Today, I just mentioned the 3 M's that we just mentioned for the month of May. One, of course, is Military Appreciation Month, Memorial, and Mental Health, and I have that. I have all 3 cross sections. My name is Ellsworth Tony Williams. I'm the President and CEO of Veterans Council and Veterans, and for this particular event, I'm also the American Legion Central Area VNR Chair for both Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Polk County. I live on 3390 Gandy Boulevard. It's my 2nd year living here, so I'm getting used to that, been living in Pinellas. As I mentioned about Memorial Day, and we have Memorial Day is coming on 29th of May, but one thing we don't recognize or remember is for those families who have lost veterans and first responders to suicide. What do we do for them? And that's why I'm here now. Veterans Council, this is what Veterans Council and Veterans do, and we've done this is our 9th year now in a row of making sure that the families have a safe space to sit there and honor their veterans that may have died by suicide. We've heard the statistic that 22 veterans die by suicide a day. What about 154 funerals in a week? And who's leading those funerals? The families who have been already have the tragedy of knowing their loved one has died by suicide and always taking that why with them. I do this event, and this particular event is going to be on, and I'll change it next year, I promise. It's going to be on 3810 West Kennedy Boulevard in Tampa. I'm getting used to living here, so I promise you, as CEO of Veterans Council and Veterans, we will have this event in this county next year. I promise you if I'm here for that. The reason why I chose first responders, people oftentimes use first responders as a catch-all. I choose first responders because my wife's a retired law enforcement officer. And as she saw all the damage that was going to those babies in these schools, and she stepped up and is serving now as one of the resource officers at an elementary school. That made it more personal, so that's one of the reasons why I added the first responders, and I can see that they're having problems as well. Last year when we had this event, the first time having first responders, we had police officers from Tampa, we had deputy chief police officers from here, we had firefighters because they needed help too. They're down by suicide. We know as a society that suicide is across the board, but for military veterans, it's even larger. So I'm just here today just to remind you that something we haven't thought about before, but there are families out there who have suffered from somebody who lost by suicide, and they don't go to Memorial Day ceremony because they don't want to get the stigma and the tragedy. So I have this event just for them. Thank you very much for listening to me, and don't forget Memorial Day, 29th of May, and my event, which is on 27th of May. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cool.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Justice.
Thank you. I just want to make a comment on the previous speaker's issues. We had discussed the transition issue from vendors when we went from county sanitation to coastal in the Lellman community. We had discussed that at a workshop a while back. It was a very rough transition as far as the data from one company to the other and their ability to collect. We thought things were getting a lot better, and I think they have. There still are some issues. And I'll forward you after the meeting, I'll forward you an email from Paul Sacco that I got because my office has been in contact with sanitation and with coastal about trying to remedy these issues and get them on board. It is incredibly frustrating. As the speaker mentioned, if you don't have garbage picked up, it can be a pretty big deal if it's one day, let alone if it goes on for a couple of weeks. So staff just wanted you to be aware, staff is very aware of this and is on top of it. And I'll send out the email after the meeting.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and hopefully, Mr. Carter, you heard what Commissioner Justice said and know that there are folks that are really taking this very seriously and working on it. Okay, David Ballaghettis Jr. wants to talk about Walt Disney's watershed.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Thank you, Madam Chair. David Ballard Geddes Jr. I live at Georgia Avenue in Palm Harbor. Walt Disney is a false front operation. It's a cover-up. It's a conflagrated business, kind of like this one. Walt Disney's Magic Kingdom sits on the headwaters to the Everglades, the Butler chain of lakes, Disney Springs, Springshed. Walt Disney's Magic Kingdom is the northernmost point serving as the headwaters to the Everglades watershed. This watershed kingdom is methodically formulating its powers over the water supply, manipulating both cause and effect, using both inductive and deductive logic to manifest its internal operations, methodically using the physics of both time and measure. The magic of Disney in regards to the formulation of its powers over the resource of water has placed us in its merry-go-round while in its hold, spinning us around externally using this government to internally establish this government, using time to uniformly bankrupt the water supply as constituted in Article 1, Section 8, Clause 4, slowly eating us out of our subsistence as written in the Declaration of Independence, here to capture the water in Article 1, Section 8, Clause 11 of this Constitution. Walt Disney is sitting on our most viable future water supply in the state. Disney is coveting the headwaters to the Everglades. It appears to me that our government is being infiltrated by a bunch of carnies in quest of political powers regarding water, undertaking government and gaining control over our water supply as based on the 14th Amendment. Federalist Paper number 79 states, in order to control the will of mankind, you must first control his subsistence. Such carnies are attempting to capture the water supply and manifest their powers over our will in an attempt at enslaving the population as revealed in Federalist Paper 54, to enslave us and to control our will using water. It will soon be self-evident as to why Disney placed his Magic Kingdom where he did, methodically placing us on his merry-go-round of deception, placing us on a long train of perfidy, destruction, and death, as written in the Declaration of Independence, using water as its Second Amendment weapon of choice. Thank you.
Time is up, Mr. Gaddis. David, happy? Good morning.
Hey.
Nice to see you today.
It's nice to see you too, Madam Chair. A lot of people said, World Star, it's time to go down and address the County Commission, formerly known as Progressive Pinellas. But if you're in the community and you're watching, pay attention, because I'm not going to talk about what you think I'm going to talk about. I'm actually going to talk about all the stuff that's going great in Pinellas. You know, there are over 500 people, part of a group called Pray for Pinellas, that pray for y'all regularly. And I believe that as a result of that, there are churches that are being started right here in Pinellas County. The Lord said if we will humble ourselves and pray and seek his face and turn from our wicked ways, that he will hear from heaven and forgive our sins and heal our land. I believe that's happening here in Pinellas. You know, there's a lot of great things that are happening in Pinellas. When this commission got impaneled, it was a new day in Pinellas County. I saw on the county commission website, there's y'all assisted in getting some beautiful new murals that were put in down in Lealman. You know, there's great volunteer opportunities here in Pinellas County. I'm going to whip through some real quick, just for those of you that are watching at home, not giving the speech that maybe you thought I was going to give, but there's a lot of good things happening in Pinellas. Take a look at volunteering with Metropolitan Ministries. The Clearwater Marine Aquarium needs volunteers. St. Petersburg Free Clinic which provides food and shelter and healthcare services to individuals and families. The Suncoast Animal League needs volunteers. Habitat for Humanity, Tampa Bay Watch, which is a nonprofit that focuses on restoration of the Tampa Bay ecosystem. The Humane Society of Pinellas, Feeding Tampa Bay, the Salvation Army. There's so many opportunities to get involved and do great things in Pinellas. You know, as part of some of the work that I'm doing on a volunteer basis, I was able to get, I'm doing some work with the National Weather Service. The National Weather Service has a program for weather preparedness. As a result, I started to take a look at what Pinellas is doing. You know, Pinellas County is doing a phenomenal job in emergency communications. The team in Pinellas is in what they call earthquake season here. Earthquake season for Pinellas is before hurricane season, when they're trying to mobilize all these resources and get all of the tools available to be able to help people during the hurricane season. You have an employee by the name of Jess McCracken. She's the community program specialist for Pinellas over emergency management. You guys are doing a great job, Pinellas. There's a lot of good things that are happening here. So get involved if you're listening in the community. Check out some of those volunteer opportunities, but it's a new day in Pinellas, and may God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that's the end of our public comment. And now we are on agenda item 17. Or, no.
Consent agenda.
The consent agenda, pardon me. Are there any one that wants to pull from consent?
Move approval of consent agenda.
And moved by Commissioner Flowers, second by Commissioner Peters. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. And now we are on County Attorney.
18.
Yeah, how did I miss that? We are on the lease with Sheltair Aviation for development and occupancy of a hangar and office space for Pinellas County Sheriff and waiver of the county's indemnification policy. Barry, do you have anything else you'd like to?
No, I think you covered it really well. So,
Thank you.
And we do have, I think there were some questions. Joe Laura is here to be able to answer any
Joe?
questions, along with Chief Danzig.
Hi, good morning. Joe Laura
Good
from
morning.
Administrative Services. Assistant Chief Deputy David Danzig is here, represents the Sheriff's Office. And Todd Anderson from Sheltair is actually here too as well, some of his staff. This is a long-awaited solution to a problem that's been going on for a while now with the Sheriff's hangar. It was built in the mid-'60s. It's way too small for their operational use, day in and day out. The actual hangar itself needs some long-term repairs. We've been patching it here and there, making it look better, lack of a better way to word it, but it still has a lot of operational issues. So what we have before you today is a solution to that long-standing problem. Like I said, the hangar's probably over 50 years old now, I think. It was built in '65, I believe, give or take, a year or two. So what we have is a lease. The way it's going to work is Sheltair is going to actually manufacture, construct the hangar for the county, and then we're going to lease it back from Sheltair. This was an option after weighing all the other options on the airport campus. This was the option that was available to us, and we jumped on it, to be honest with you, and that's what's before you today. I have a short presentation, too. I just wanted to go through. I'm sorry, David, before we go any further. Like I mentioned earlier, the hangar was built in the mid-'60s on 1.3 acres of land at the St. Petersburg Clearwater International Airport. It's only 11,000 square feet. The hangar we're proposing is going to be on 5.1 acres, and it's approximately 43,000 square feet. It's going to be designed in a modular type design where if it needs to enlarge sometime in the future, we can do that accordingly. The hangar site was home to a former fueling operation by PEMCO, I believe was the name of the company. There were 4 spill events at that site. And because of that, we have to remediate the site. The airport is actually in process doing that now, and that should be complete by the end of June. It's taken about 2 years to put this to put this actual agreement in place, not only through negotiations with Shelter, but because of some of the environmental concerns, permitting concerns, elevation concerns. So it's taken about 2 years to get this before you. So right now, what is before you is we expect construction to be completed towards the end of 2025. There is a current cost of about $315,000, which is prepaid rent and design. And we don't expect any expenses in fiscal year 24. And then, of course, when it's constructed, we'll start to lease it back from Shelter in 2025. So that's where we stand on that. The price, all included, is $2,267,000. That includes everything, all inclusive. The actual lease is about $165,000 a month. Utilities and everything else is included in that $2.2 million expenditure amount. Questions or?
Commissioner Eggers?
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I follow this. For the land lease and the building lease, utilities, and I don't know what all other expenses are, that's $2,267,000 a year for the 43,000 square feet. Comes out to $52 a square foot. Seems really high. Just trying to understand a little bit about what other expenses are included in that.
Diana, did you want to come and address that? We have Diana Sweeney, who helped negotiate the agreement with Shelter, and she did some calculations accordingly and knows a little more about the actual math behind the scenes.
Good morning.
Good morning. So that figure includes the ground rent of $127,000, which is 57 cents a square foot at the airport. It includes utilities at about $93,000, operating expenses because our staff will operate this building. That amount is $245,000. Because this property is not leased directly through the county, we will have to pay real estate taxes, and that amount is estimated to be $31,000, and insurance at about $120,000. So, in addition to $1.65 in a triple net lease to Shelter, we'll have approximately $617,000 in operating expenses.
A year?
Yes. Yes.
And a lot of these expenses would be there whether we built it or leased it back from Shelter. Most of these expenses, in fact.
All right, so the triple net rent is 1.65 million.
Yes.
For the 43,000 feet.
Yes.
I'm just trying to make sure I get the numbers. That just.
It's about $39 a square foot for the
Thank you.
building. Yeah. Our building is, the footprint is about an acre of land, of the 5 acres that we're taking of this. And there's probably about 3 acres, I know Todd could probably speak to this, of asphalt and connections to the runway that will be actually maintained by them. So my estimate here is probably just a little bit high because they'll be taking that on.
So they're connecting. They're
Yes.
connecting the building to the runways. That's not it. That's included in this number.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And this is all tilt wall construction. There's office space inside as well.
Well, it hasn't been designed fully yet, but I believe it will be, and Todd could speak more on that. Todd Anderson from Shelter.
How much office space will be in there? You know?
It's about 1/3 of the building.
Yes, yeah, about 10,000, 11,000 square feet of office and training.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. A couple questions. So we're talking a 40-year lease here to 2066 to terminate with the Shelter lease?
Right, it's coterminous with the prime land lease that Shelter has with the airport, which ends in 2046. Then there are two 10-year renewal options, which take us to 2066, yes.
Okay. What's the annual lease escalation on that? I'm just trying to think, for
Sure.
40 years, we're looking at $2.3 million a year roughly.
Sure.
But over a 40-year period of time, what's that number look like? And then what's the cost of the existing the existing hangar we have, is there anything, are we offsetting? If we're no longer going to be using that facility, are we going to get any savings off of, from that would help offset some of this?
Yes, I'll take the first question, which is, remind me, what was it?
It was,
I'm
so
sorry.
40-year lease, what's the annual?
Oh, yes,
yeah,
thanks. Okay, so the incremental increases are based on CPI with a minimum of 3% and a maximum of 5%.
Okay.
And that's yearly.
So have we done just a projected budget, 40 years out? What's it going to be in 40 years, do we know?
I have not, but I can provide that for you.
I mean, it may be a drop in the bucket in the big scheme of things, but, you know, we're potentially making a 40-year commitment that probably a few future sheriffs are going to have to live with, and several future county commissioners are going to have to live with this as well. So I want to make sure that we're doing the right thing here.
Yeah, I can provide that to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then is there, the current facility that we have now, is there an annual cost to that? Is that, what happens to that facility? Are we going to be saving some money because we're not using that facility? So
Yes, that
what's look
facility is about 2.5 acres, and so whatever we're paying on ground rent for that, which is probably about $60,000, we won't have that expense.
We'll
The
turn it
building,
back off to the airport, and we
Yes.
could use it for parking, et cetera.
right. The building's been long depreciated, so I don't know that there's any expense in that right now.
But are we paying a monthly lease rate
No.
for that?
No.
So there's no cost savings. When that goes away, there's no cost savings.
Correct, we own that building.
Okay, so this is all going to be new costs that we're bringing on now. Okay.
So, okay, anyone else for questions, comments?
I had one more.
For Commissioner Eggers?
Yeah, so again, I'm just trying to do the math to see why it's more prudent to lease than to purchase. What's the alternative? What alternative do we have to purchase? That's land leased by the airport, correct?
Well, there really is not an alternative in this case, Commissioner. This is the alternative. We have one real way to do this, and I mean, when it comes right down to it, construction, we do have property on the other end of the campus, the airport campus, the former golf course, but that's not operationally suitable to the sheriff's office because of the way the runway has to be utilized. And
One of the issues, Commissioner, is it's site constrained. This area, this site is owned by, or is leased by Sheltair.
Right.
So we don't have control over it. They looked at a number of different sites trying to site this next to the current sheriff's hangar. It became then too close to the Coast Guard, and then they were going to have to construct blast walls and all kinds of other things operationally. So they went through a number of different location issues, and so in part it was because this was a lease, it's all in, they manage it, but it was also because there was not land available to be able to move this project forward. And you know the concern the sheriff's raised for a number of years. The only other spot was the golf course, and it's not even, we don't have runways going out there yet. So that's years in the making still.
And keep in mind, if I might just add, this has been a big issue in my agenda since I've been on this county commission. And we've had these conversations over and over and over in that length of time. Everything in our life, in our world, and especially in government, has suffered from inflationary costs. And so the fact that this is even being discussed today gives me great concern, because now you're talking 2025 before it's done. I mean, honest to God, you'd think there'd be a bigger sense of urgency to bring this to closure and get it done before it gets more expensive going forward. So I guess my big question is, how confident are you that this price we're talking about today is going to be the same thing we're seeing in 2025?
I think I'll let Todd Anderson.
Okay,
Todd.
Todd.
Come on up and address that.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Todd Anderson. I'm the COO for Sheltair Aviation. I've been with Sheltair for 23 years. A little bit about Sheltair. We are a family-run company based out of Fort Lauderdale. We have a regional office in Tampa and also in Orlando. We have 16 fixed-base operation locations. 5 other locations are real estate only, and I do have my VP of Construction and Development here that can get into a little bit more specifics if you want. But I do want to just share with you that we have been a long-term tenant here since the late 80s. And we started out with about 8 acres of property, built our first small little corporate hangars, and over a period of time, we either acquired, we built more, took down more land, but today, we have about 44, almost 45 acres of real estate out there that we've developed, and about 330,000 square feet of hangar facility. So we're excited to be here. We're excited to continue to grow. We have been working in some real genuine partnership for 2 years, trying to figure out how we can make this work. It has been a challenge, but I mean, we're there, and we're ready to move forward. So the question is cost escalation. The way the lease is set up today is it's a formula based on an estimated cost of the $20 million. We hope it comes in less. We've had professional estimators come out and take a look at this project as it is conceptually designed today. We don't have full permits, we obviously don't have full plans, so we can't literally go out and put it to street and bid it out and get some hard numbers. We think the $20 million number is going to be good for us to move forward. Again, we hope it even comes in less, okay?
So when you talk about that and say what you just said, how long is it going to take you to get done what you need to get done to be able to come back and say, okay, this is it?
We actually have the site designed, and we have site permit ready to go. We just have to bring the architect on board to start the architectural.
And how long is all that going to take?
That's, we'll turn to Jack. I'm not going to speak for him, but I can. Jack is our Vice President of Development and Construction for Shelter.
Good morning, how are you?
Good morning.
May
How
I
I
place some
am
documents
depends
here
on
to be
your
sh-
answer.
Okay. So, if I put some documents here, can they be seen?
Yes?
Okay, great. So what you're seeing here is the conceptual image of what the facility will look like, and a tentative schedule that actually had design starting 2 months ago, because we've had some preliminary meetings already with Sheriff's Office about the specifications. Design and permitting through August, and permitting is really the one item that we don't have entire control over. It could be permitted within a couple of months, it could be permitted in 3 to 4 months,
So is that permitting process, excuse me for interrupting you.
Sure.
Is that permitting process with the county or with?
Yes.
Tom, are you listening?
The faster it's permitted, the faster we can start construction. And a facility of this size and scale, we estimate will take about 14 months to construct. But to address perhaps some of your concerns about cost, I'll share this with you. This is an image of the campus here. But I wanted to show you some projects that we have completed. At Shelter, the construction division does about $200 million worth of projects annually. I'm responsible for the team that executes those, and for the last 3 years, each one of our projects has come at or under budget, have not come
Excellent.
over budget.
Good.
What you're looking at here is a facility in Tampa, hangars 6A, 6B, 7A, and 7B, a $26 million project that is going through its final inspections right now as we speak. We have inspectors on site. We expect a CO by the end of this week or early next week. This project came in slightly under budget than what we originally anticipated. Here, we're looking at a development, a campus at Rocky Mountain Metropolitan Airport, just outside of Denver. We built the FBO, then Hangar A, and then Hangar B. Today, what you're seeing on the site plan, hangars C, D, and E are under construction right now. That's a $21.5 million development that will complete by the end of this year. Maintaining budget, under construction today, about 40% complete with construction. Here's our campus at Savannah, where we have 5 hangars complete. Hangar 6 and its apron are under design right now. Hangar 5 just completed this year. It was a $5.4 million project, came in slightly under budget. That was a 32.6 thousand square foot hangar. At Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport, where we keep our corporate office and where I sit every day, this is a development of 8 hangars and an FBO that we completed a couple of years ago for $32.5 million. And I wanted to share these with you so that you understand the scale of the projects that we execute on a regular basis. We do several of these each year, and we do them successfully. Otherwise, our company would not be growing. It's been a great partnership with the sheriff. It's been a couple of years that we've been talking to them, making sure our site accommodates all of their maneuverability for their equipment. I had the pleasure of visiting your existing facility a couple of months ago. And I don't know if any of you have visited it, but it is a very large garage with one garage door broken, and this is, they're suffering where they are right now.
How storm worthy are these buildings?
Yeah, so they will be designed and constructed to current code, and this site will be elevated above floodplain, so they will not get flooded.
Because the one you have out there right now is a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah, the entire airport is pretty close to floodplain there, so anything we construct new needs to be elevated.
Good.
Yes.
Okay, Commissioner Justice.
Thank you. Just to take it back to the, probably not for you, but.
Sure. So
the airport owns the land. Shelter leases the land from the airport. Shelter is going to pay to construct the building. We're going to lease the building back. Is that coming out of our general real estate fund, or is that coming out of the sheriff's annual?
It comes out of the general fund, I believe. Yeah, general fund, Commissioner, I believe, yes.
I just wanted to kind of wrap it all back up.
It'll be run through our administrative services, but it will be one way or another, whether we give the money to the sheriff or whether we pay for it, we're going to be paying for it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Good presentation. So
Brian?
happy we're where we are. Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a question for the Sheriff's Department. So once this new hangar is built, is there going to be, I'm just trying to think ahead for the sheriff's budget down the road several years. Are there going to be any operational savings that you're going to find with this new facility, or is there going to be additional costs in terms of we have to hire additional staff, or how does, what's the thought process?
So from a staffing perspective, no, we would staff it with the existing members that we have. There is an additional space for down the road if we wanted to add a helicopter and add an airplane. We could do that. The cost savings really with this is we're an FAA certified maintenance and repair facility, which is a big deal. We have that certification. So what that means is we can repair our own aircraft. We're going to continue with that certification going into this facility and hopefully upgrade some of the things that we have in order to do that. So really where the cost savings is when we have a downed aircraft, we're able to repair it and maintain it out of our own facility and not have to farm that out. And with working with Shelter, we plan to continue that. So just a little bit on the site, why I have the microphone also. We looked, this has been a 9-year project for us. We're 9 years to get to this today when we started talking about replacing this hangar. So we've looked at every site out there. When you look at the airport, you think that there's a lot of land out there, and there is, but you have to contend with that large runway in the middle. And for us, our helicopter pilots, when they're on duty, so we have the helicopter, if it's not in the air, it's in a ready position to be up in the air within 5 minutes. So we have to be on the west side of that long runway. If we have an emergency call and we have to get airborne, we can't cross that runway if there's an inbound or outbound commercial flight. We can't do it. So they will hold us, even if it's an emergency, for that traffic. So we looked at the Airco property, we looked at that east side extensively, but the problem is we'd have to fly so far north or so far south to cross before we could go to the emergency. So again, we stay under that or meet that 5-minute requirement is what we hold the pilots to get the aircraft up in an emergency. So if you take that into perspective and you look west of 36th along the north-south runway, there's very few land options over there. So that really was a blessing when the Shelter property came forward, because it really meets our needs and puts us in a very good position to operate the helicopters in and out there in emergencies and the aircraft in and out, the plane, fixed-wing aircraft also.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
How many years again is the lease?
It's 44.
20 with
43
two 10-year
altogether.
renewals.
43 with a 20 plus the 2.
Correct.
23 plus 2 10-year options.
I'm asking, I feel like it's the fox in the hen house here, but how does the rate, compare to other rates that you have? Looking at you, how do the rates compare, your rental rates on a triple net lease?
If we just built a metal hangar and had standard vanilla office space in it, those rents would be much lower. What we're looking at here today is a 5-acre parcel that is completely a complex dedicated to the sheriffs. It's their exclusive leasehold. It includes, that rate includes the apron that we have to build. It includes the automobile parking lot. So it's an entire complex. It's based on the financial structure of what we get cost of money for and how this all formula comes through. And but most of our hangar rents are a little less when we start dealing with exclusive tenants. Somebody that comes in and says, I want this custom-made hangar, they tend to be much higher.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Commissioner Lafala?
Thank you. I don't even know if this would be a question to ask, but I guess I'll ask it anyways. When you were looking at different options, would that include any possible hangars that Shelter had at like TIA, or would that be not even feasible because of the response times?
I can answer that. We wouldn't want to move over to TIA just for that reason, for response times. And believe it or not, there's times we're flying over there when we're following a suspect vehicle, and contending with the air traffic at TIA is challenging also. So I don't know as far as getting in and out of there in an emergency, but that would be tough too. Most of our work is west of the airport by where it is. So if we had to fly over to TIA, then we'd still have to contend with the north-south of PI, and then we'd have to deal with getting in and out of TIA. We've been following vehicles across the Franklin or the Courtney Campbell and have had to hold for commercial traffic at TIA and then pick back up on the other side of the airport. So I think it would be challenging. We didn't explore anything out of the county. We looked at all the airports in the county also, and it was just that really the west side of the PI facility is the best place for us to be operationally.
Thank you.
And keep in mind when you're talking about up in the air and flying around in this region, once you get into TIA airspace, there's 7 different airspaces that you have to contend with. So under any circumstances, it's challenging, but considering that we're talking about the safety of our citizens here, I think going over there is probably not a good idea.
Just one more comment.
Yeah, Commissioner Eggers.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to appreciate the questions from my colleagues. This is a huge commitment, and I know it's a project we've been working on for a long time. And it looks like our operating costs are going up just a tad, including the lease costs, if you will. So I think to scrutinize it is the right thing to do. Architectural process, bidding process, all of that, once that's done, does that come back to us in a final contract as it compares to what you guys are estimating our rent to be now?
The way we're going to do it, Commissioner, if it comes back at or below, you won't see it again. If it comes back over that, then of course, yes, it would definitely come back.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen and ma'am.
Thank you. Good job. Thank you very much. All right, now we're on 19. Barry?
We haven't done that one
I
yet.
think we need a motion.
Make a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Madam Clerk, will you open the board, please, and let us vote?
We have nothing. I have
We signed in?
Yes, sir.
We're signed in.
I mean, do a voice.
Well, I'm a yes.
Yes. I'm a yes.
Everybody's a yes. All right, that passes unanimously. 19.
Item 19 is the Second Amendment to a purchasing authorization with Gray Bar Electric. This is for various electrical, lighting, and data communications products for around the county. It's off of a City of Kansas master contract that we're piggybacking onto. So this is $600,000 annually for overall total of just over $4 million.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Peters, second by Commissioner Scott. Please open the board.
I guess this board just don't like us.
Yeah, it's not working.
It's not coming up.
So you want to do all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Item 20.
This is MSTU for Palm Harbor Library. They're going to be replacing some new flooring in the adult and technical services area.
Move approval.
Move approval.
Second.
Been
None of us did.
been moved by Commissioner Eggers, second by Commissioner Flowers. Can you open the, see if it works? I mean, maybe we should all take 2 seconds and double check to see that we're joined.
Yeah.
Yep, I am.
I'm joined.
Yeah, we're joined.
I'm joined and I read.
Aye.
Okay?
Aye.
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 And the ayes have it.
Any opposed? No? All right, then we are on item 23.
21.
Why
This-
is my machine 21?
All right, this is a Palm Harbor Parks and Recreation, MSTU. This is to update and remodel outdoor bathrooms at Pop Stansel Community Park.
Move second.
Moved by Commissioner Peters, second by Commissioner Flowers. Please open the voting card.
I'm a yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
We're up. Any opposed?
Oh, Janet, you're up. It's coming up now.
Oh,
No, she's
well,
doing it. The
Oh,
clerk-
she's doing it. I'm sorry.
it. Clerk's doing it.
Got me all excited. I got excited.
Yeah. Okay, number 22.
Item number 22, Commissioners, this is 3 applications for funding under Penny for Pinellas Employment Sites Program. So these 3 projects, you have Johnson Development, $2.1 million. This is to look at the existing drainage ponds associated with infrastructure to do for this expansion. National Doors and Hardware, $327,000 to consolidate 2 existing sites in Palm Harbor and Tarpon Springs, and a new 10,000 square foot facility in Tarpon Springs. And Racetrack 430, which is $1.1 million, and includes numerous costs, including underwriting 12,000 yards of dirt fill to be bring in for both industrial buildings to dock high floor elevations, demolish part of existing building. Again, these are exactly what the program was intended for, which is to bring these sites and make our sites competitive with going to greenfield sites and stuff as part of our overall redevelopment strategy. So,
Commissioner Justice.
and Teresa is here to answer those questions. Come on up.
Out of the 3, 2 of them don't have, one doesn't have a tenant. Do we have any idea what that tenant will be?
At this stage of the game, no, sir. This is a speculative building, but just like other speculative buildings that we've had in the past with this program, as soon as they hit a certain point in their development, they fill up. And so at this time, we're anticipating that that particular location will more than likely have 2 tenants, but it's in a pretty hot area in the Gateway Market area, and we're on our other side of the team, we're actively pursuing to help them backfill that space.
And it's built with enough flexibility to accommodate a variety of?
Yes, sir.
And then what does the one in Oldsmar, what do they manufacture?
They do a variety of things, but primarily they do pharmaceuticals, and they are actually relocating one of their components from Pasco County into Pinellas County, and then they're going to be adding another 25 individuals to that team to be able to do that.
Okay. Yeah, it wasn't laid out in the material what they actually manufacture.
Sorry.
So I was just.
Apologies.
Commissioner
All right.
Scott.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Sure.
What accountability and compliance measures do we have in place, for the money? I'm just kind of thinking, yeah, don't want a repeat of the film thing we had. So just talk about that a little bit.
Sure, I'd be glad to. First of all, I just really wanted to say that, these 3 projects came through, but staff goes and talks with Numerous. This last round, we probably spoke with over 25 businesses that were interested in this, and then, so we wean it out. We talk to them, we really try to bring it down. From there, we present to you all following, if you all approve conditional approvals on these, we do due diligence. We do a significant due diligence with a third-party vendor that comes in and works with us. When we look at other pieces of this, we start to put the agreements together. We've worked really efficiently with the county attorney's office to really put together some good templates on how we do things. We have a clawback system, so basically we have it set up that it comes back to us if they don't maintain it to be what was built over a 20-year period. That's what we do. We put a 20-year clause in that says it needs to remain that way. We have all of our documents done as a public record, so it stays with the property as well. And we send those documents to any other municipalities. So in the case of the Oldsmar one, we ship a copy of that agreement so that Oldsmar knows that down the road that can't be turned into, easily can't be turned into a residential, for example. So we do a lot of checks and balances, and then on an annual basis for the first 10 years of all of these programs, we ask that they just do a quick report. You know, are you 100% occupied? And you know, what's your vacancy? And with those groups, can you just give us some kind of head count as to how many people are working there? And it's really, so far we've only had one of those report back because that was the Harry property one. And so we get those annual reports, and then we will continue to include that with all of our new website that we've created for Pinellas County Economic Development.
Have we had any situations in the past where we've gotten burned, like we gave somebody $2 million to do something and it just never happened?
You know, again, I think that it's really important to understand that it's still a new program. I mean, we've got one project that's completely done. There's a second one that we just finished paying for their renovations and everything else. But I think that it's a very solid program, and I do, you know, continue to keep up with everyone as to how are things progressing, and even after it's complete, I like to keep tabs on everybody too. So we haven't had any issues.
Okay, thanks.
Just a quick follow-up.
Yes.
What's the timeline for bringing this back for final approval?
They won't be back to you for final approval. This program, typically what we do is we ask for conditional approval and the authority to pass on the agreements to be signed by Barry. That's what we've done in the last other rounds. And that's when we do all of our due diligence. We come back, we review the due diligence.
If it comes within the framework, that if it goes over that or doesn't, then it would come back to you.
And then we would have a more global look at this entire program when we go through departmental budget time. Is that typically what we would?
Well, again, we've only had one project complete, you know, and so I think it's something new. So that reporting period, we need to do that periodically on at your pleasure of how you want to do that.
And we have an annual report. You know, I
Yes.
do an annual report every year, and both of them are now up on the PCED website. So you can see both annual reports. And then on the new one, what I've done is I've literally listed every one of our programs, every one of the applicants that we've had come through, where they are and what their status is at that time.
I think it's not, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad thing for us to just have a check-in once a year, talk about the global policies of how we're running this program, you know, and which applicants, to go through some of those lists, just to kind of see who's applying, where are they applying, and are we going with the philosophy of we're piling on where the hottest areas are because we have some confidence of success, or do we want to focus our energies on other areas that need a little priming of the pump?
And I totally agree with you. I'd be glad to present, you know, as we move forward, and maybe what we do for next year's budget or for our annual report is try to coincide the same time and to bring forth, you know, what we're finding with it.
We'll just bring this in for a work session. That way you can have it, you know, as a discussion point. We can go through some of these. These are done on reimbursement, and that's the reason some of your questions. We'll break that down and show you how those projects have went, because it does take a long time from this to do the due diligence to where the project's actually ready. But
we do pretty good.
You know, and the whole goal of the program is to incentivize to where we can redevelop in areas where it's constrained and we're site constrained, and it's more, and we want them to redevelop versus going to a greenfield site somewhere else, and it makes us competitive. And so I want her to be able to show you that what we're doing is incentivizing, not subsidizing.
No, absolutely.
Commissioner Eggers?
Yeah, so in my mind, thinking about these dollars and attracting either new companies or keeping new companies and job expansion. So it seems like a couple of these are developers, Johnson Development Associates. And
Johnson's the only developer.
they're the only developer, okay. The other two are
the other two.
companies.
Yes.
Are they showing increased jobs? Just talk to me a little bit about
Sure,
that.
be glad
And
to.
then on the Johnson Development, we are giving up land, so to speak, right? Is this land that would otherwise be available for what?
So I'm going to go with the second one
Yeah,
really quick. It's industrial land. It's right there off of 28th. It's in the Gateway
Right.
Park. So it's really solid, great industrial land to be developed. And we're really excited about the fact that it's 110,000 square feet of new, really quality office space or industrial space. So it's good flex space.
And that would probably be built to that point, whether we help or not.
Actually, no. I think that to some degree, some of the reasons why we're looking at helping is because they would have probably built a smaller footprint if it wasn't for our assistance. And that's some of the pieces that we always look at is we try to push the envelope and say, could you build as much as you possibly can on that site? And a lot of times what'll happen is they'll come back and say, well, we have restrictions, and some of the restrictions are that, we have to do our stormwater. Okay, so what we end up doing is help offset stormwater vaults underneath things to be able to allow that footprint to get bigger. And this particular situation, what we did was we said, they said, well, if we relocate this pond, then we can add some additional square footage. And so that's how we looked at it, as an opportunity to get as much as we can with each and every project. As far as the employees go, it's really interesting because when we first developed this program, we didn't think that we were going to have businesses come through. We actually thought it would only be developers. And what's been absolutely fascinating for us as staff is to be able to work with so many businesses, to be able to help them meet and achieve the goals and objectives that they have on their footprints that they own. And it's actually pretty exciting for us to be able to say, yes, we're here and we understand what you need and we can help you. And so it's been a big one.
Yeah, and that one,
Yeah.
in those cases, they are expanding.
Yes.
Or they're doing.
Or they're
yeah,
hoping to expand, but they get stuck because
Understand.
It's cash flow that typically builds those expansions.
But in those cases, we might actually be retaining people
Yes.
in this county. So, yeah.
Almost all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else on this side?
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Flowers?
I just wanted to say thank you for focusing on the job piece. If you recall, when you first brought this before us, I was very concerned about companies that come in and they receive the attributes as it relates to development in our community. They will bring on board those employees, and then once they get going, they right size. That's the word they use. They right size their organization. So just looking at the Johnson Development for anticipating 150 direct jobs for the industrial, and the other site 50 jobs on top of what they're transferring from their other locations into one location. So I know that we talked about this before, but when we have that reporting system, once they're up and going, I really want us to keep track of that, because for that employment and retention component piece, this is one of the markers that we use throughout the county as it relates to the growth and development of employment opportunities throughout the county. So, and just want to say thank you for the work that we're doing, just reimagining land that we have and putting it to good use rather than doing some other things that may not be in the best interest of our county. So thanks for that. I appreciate it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Scott?
Commissioner Flowers pretty well covered my thoughts, so.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Peters, seconded by Commissioner Flowers. Please open the board. We're going to keep trying this.
Never give up, boy. I tell you.
No?
Yes,
I'm a yes.
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 Anybody a no? Okay, it passes unanimously. Number 23.
Item 23 is affordable housing program funding recommendations for Burlington Post 2 by Green Mills Group. This is funding in the amount of $3.7 million for construction. This is through the emergency rental assistance funds and $208,000 from housing trust funds.
Move approval. Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Flowers, moved by Commissioner Peters, second by Commissioner Flowers. All those,
Commissioner Scott
I
has a
have
question.
one quick question, Madam
oh,
Chair.
I'm so sorry.
And maybe I missed that in here, but how long is this to remain affordable? Do we know what that is?
The affordability period, Bruce, 20 years, I believe.
Good morning. It'll be 20 years for the funding provided by the county, but the bond financing would be 30 years.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Flowers.
Is there anyone here from Burlington? Oh, hi. I was just going to say thank you very much. You know, we're always looking for opportunities for our seniors to have a place that they can afford. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you. We commend the county for prioritizing housing. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. All right. Are we all ready? Okay, so what are your wishes?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And Commissioner Eggers, oh, are you there? I couldn't see you, Commissioner, hiding behind Commissioner Peters. Okay, so that passes unanimously. Item 24.
It's affordable housing program project funding recommendation. This is for Heritage Oaks. This is $3.36 million. County's portion of the funding will be $1 million from CDBG, $1.5 million from Home, and $860,000 from State Housing Initiatives Program.
Move approval.
Moved by Commissioner Flowers, second by Commissioner Peters. All those in,
One quick question.
okay, Commissioner Scott.
Question. Oh, I just wanted to say this is fabulous, 60% AMI. We're approving these, and some of the persons who may not watch our meetings and stuff, they may not know what we're doing. And we consistently hear from people in the community, they want to see persons who are 80% AMI and below. They want to see projects in that arena. And so that's the only reason why I'm saying what I'm saying, so people will know what the projects that we're approving are today and how we are continuing to build upon the decisions that were made some time ago from this body to really look at those areas for the AMI. So this is a 60% AMI and below 80 units.
Excellent. So thank you for that point. Commissioner Scott.
And again, is this the affordability period for this? Is this 20 years? Again?
Correct. The minimum affordability is 20 years.
Okay.
It depends on each funding source. So with the CDBG and the home, it would be a 20-year affordability period.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent. All right. And what are your wishes, members of the board?
Move approval.
Moved by Commissioner,
We already got
We
the
did
motion.
that.
Yeah,
I'm
we got the-
sorry. We did that.
Just all in favor.
We just need to vote.
oh,
Madam
all in
Chair.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No? That passes unanimously. Okay. 25.
This is for Lellman Heights. This is the same thing. It's 86 units, new construction, 80% area median income. The funding recommendations $2 million plus closing costs. This is through the Neighborhood Stabilization Program grant by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Move approval.
Then moved by Commissioner Flowers, second by Commissioner Peters. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No? Okay, so that passes unanimously. Number 26.
Last up, housing funding, affordable housing program funding agreement with Skyway Lost 2 by Blue Skies Community. This is $3.4 million for land acquisition and construction costs by Penny for Pinellas. This is a, let's see, this is 66 units at 80% area median income.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Justice, second by Commissioner Flowers. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No? Passes unanimously. 27.
This is CDBG program. This is a subaward for West Care Gulf Coast for emergency shelter rehabilitation. This agreement provides CDBG funds not to exceed $310,000 for installation of commercial-grade emergency generators, bathroom renovations, replacement of windows at a Turning Point facility.
Move. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Peters, second by Commissioner Flowers. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Passes unanimously. 28.
This is a resolution reestablishing the Social Action Funding Advisory Committee. The participants are listed within your packet, and this is to make recommendations regarding your social action funding.
Move approval. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Flowers, second by Commissioner Peters. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. The motion passes unanimously. 28.
This item
29.
is for a grant award from U.S. Department of Health and Human Services for our Health Care for Homeless program. This is federal funding in the amount of $1.9 million. This provides resident services for homelessness, and there's no county cash match requirement.
Move approval. Great thing.
Moved by Commissioner Flowers, second by Commissioner Eggers. Any discussion? Anybody? No. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Number 30.
It's an agreement with Zoll Data Systems for RescueNet software maintenance and support. This continues maintenance and support for our patient care records and billing systems at Safety and Emergency Services Department. The estimated annual expenditures are listed within your packet. Starts out at $249,000 a year.
Move approval.
Moved by Commissioner Peters, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Passes unanimously. 31.
This is the First Amendment to a purchase authorization agreement with Insight Public Sector for purchase of technology products and services. This is an amount of $300,000, not to exceed $1.25 million.
Move approval.
Moved by Commissioner Peters, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor? Opposed? No. Passes unanimously. 31.
That was 31.
32. Mike?
Your thing's not moving properly.
It's not. 32.
Item number 32, I would like to pull from the agenda. Do not need the board to take action today.
No?
No.
Okay, 33.
Under 33, I'm requesting the board ratify a lawsuit that was filed on an emergency basis relating to neglected animals with the chair's authority, so we're asking for ratification at this time.
Move approval. Second.
Any discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, 33.
Under county attorney reports, I have nothing.
Thank you. 34. 35.
5 are appointments to the council for persons with disabilities. We got individual appointments from Commissioner Justice, Eggers, and Scott.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Justice, second by Commissioner Flowers. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. 36.
County Administrator's report, we're in the middle of budget, and I will tell you, as you know, there's nothing that is going down in cost. So it'll be an interesting June when we bring you our departmental submissions. And just so you know, the impact of the changes the state made to our retirement system, those alone are in the millions. That'll impact us next year. It's not optional, it's not. But the other one that I think that is impacting us, as you know, we're a self-insured county, we're seeing a huge spike in actual use of our health care cost. So we're self-insured, so we pay the actual cost, and we've seen a huge spike of over almost 24% over the past, and so we're trying to figure out what that is. Is that a one-time spike? Is that going to come back down? You know,
We
what are the
tracking
things?
it?
Yes, they've got all the data in the world. So I only tell you that because it's something that I'm dealing with, but it's going to make budgets extremely difficult this year. And so we're in the middle of that. We're going to present all that to you coming up here next month. But those, I'll talk to you individually, or as you have questions. But those are two significant, on top of all the other inflationary contract issues, just to keep the lights on. not growing or expanding. It's going to be a very difficult budget year.
No, the FRS wasn't as bad as originally projected.
Commissioner, you are correct. It's not as bad as originally projected, but that doesn't mean it's free. What they proposed would have exceeded the full growth of our of what we project on our levy. It would have exceeded that just on the increased FRS portion, let alone all the other contract issues and salary increases and healthcare increases and things like that. I'm so thankful for our legislator and our senators that stepped in and tried to find a common ground on that, and I do appreciate their efforts on that. But it still is significant.
And it's significant to remember that our constitutionals are dealing with the same thing, which we also have to approve here.
The sheriff's portion,
Yeah.
we're having good conversations about how
I
do we
bet
get
you
to the
are.
right number on that as we speak.
Okay, thank you.
I got.
All right, is that it, Barry?
That's it.
As if that's not enough. All right, now we're on to county new business. And we'll start with Commissioner Latvala.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Since we've last met, I had a nice meeting with, speaking of constitutionals, with Mike Twitty, our wonderful property appraiser. JWB had their lunch. I'd like to congratulate Ray Hensley for winning the McCabe Dillinger Award. This past weekend, Lift Academy had a wonderful Kentucky Derby gala / dinner. Lift Academy is a school that services the neurological diverse students. Last week, the Beth Dillinger Foundation had a Value Me luncheon that was wonderful. PSTA had a workshop. Several of us went to the Sally Parks plaque dedication at St. Pete Clearwater Airport. I'd like to thank former Commissioner Karen Seal for organizing that. This past weekend, an iconic restaurant, and if you know me, you know food's important. An iconic restaurant in Clearwater celebrated their 50th anniversary, Caponia's Dugout. If you like Italian food or watching sports, I recommend it. Or the wings, or a lot of other stuff that they have that's good. And this morning, I'd like to congratulate all of the award winners that you did a wonderful job. The EMTs, the firefighters, and the 911 operator. And tomorrow, I don't know if y'all are going, but there's a Nurses Week thing at Largo Medical. And so it got me thinking of my time at being a guest of Largo Medical a few years ago when I spent a couple weeks there. And, you know, our cops and firefighters deserve all the praise in the world. But a lot of times we don't think about, you know, the EMTs or the 911 operators that literally save lives. And without those folks, I may not be sitting here. And which some people may wish I wasn't, but I'd just like to thank those folks as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Commissioner Eggers.
Yeah, echo the Sally Parks dedication, and thanks to Karen, former Commissioner Seal, for that. It was really a nice occasion, and we all started talking, and it seemed like an hour later we were still talking. It was great, everybody getting a chance to say a few words about Sally and their relationship with her, and special lady, and she's definitely missed. Got a chance to go out and visit Neil Brickfield's new empire, so to speak, and his work in the Pinellas, obviously, County Housing Authority, and took me a tour of Ridgecrest and this project that we were talking about that we passed earlier. And he's got some great ideas and vision, and that organization continues to do great work. So I got a chance to meet some of those folks that are dedicated people, and the facility that I got a tour of was just amazing. So they continue to do good work. Neil, you've got big shoes to fill. Good luck with your years ahead. Future of the Region Awards, it was just great. We had our Economic Development Sites program was acknowledged. City of Dunedin for the Gladys Douglas Preserve was acknowledged, among others. I just wanted to mention those two, but really appreciate the award that was given to our co-worker right in the middle here, our chairman, Long, for her I guess her efforts and responsibilities in terms of her focus on regionalism. So I wanted to tip my hat to her. Hurricane Expo at CSA, Erica Linford did a great job. We had 5 departments there: our animal rescue, mosquito control, emergency management, human services, public works was there. All of them were there answering lots of questions. Great people. It was really energized and excited to be a part of that. Each of them were really good representatives of our county, so it was good to see a lot of people come out as well. So, looking forward to Thursday, which will be our 3-county commission summit Friday, good grief. I've said May 15th, it's May 12th. I said Thursday, it's Friday.
That's
So,
all right.
Just for the
I'm
record,
gonna go.
it is May 12th, which is this Friday at 10 o'clock. Or should I say a different time? No. Really excited about that. We've been working on this for a lot of years, and I think it's really important that we at least get together to talk about some issues that we're all going to wrap our arms around, so to speak, and be in agreement. And then maybe also address some challenging questions that lay ahead for all of us, that we can come back together and have more dialogue. So really glad that we're doing this, and hopefully it makes a difference on regional issues that we'll be talking about and dealing with for years to come. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. Commissioner Scott?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I was able to attend the State of the Beaches Town Hall, which was that last week or the week before? I can't remember, but that was very interesting. I also attended the 48th commemoration of Black April with the Vietnamese community of Tampa Bay, which honors the sacrifices and memories of both American and South Vietnamese soldiers. Last Monday, I toured Tampa Bay Water. It was a very, very impressive tour. I was unfortunately unable to make the Sally Parks event because I was finishing up with my Tampa Bay Water tour at that time. But that was an extremely impressive facility, and I want to thank the Tampa Bay Water staff for taking the time to show me around all of the facilities. Last week, I also did a tour of CASA and saw the great work that they do for the victims of domestic violence in our community. Attended the reception for the Resiliency Summit. I had a packed schedule the next 2 days. I wasn't able to attend the meetings, but at least I was able to participate in the reception. Had a meeting with Senator Rubio's office last week as well. Talked about a number of things, but the primary topic was beach renourishment, and they're certainly doing everything that they can do from their office's perspective to push on the Army Corps. And then I also toured the construction progress of the future Mangrove Bay Middle School on 62nd Avenue in St. Pete, which is a combination of a school and a YMCA coming together. So I think that when that's open, that's going to be a great asset to the community. And it's not too far from the Lumley community as well, and I know the Lumley community has always been wanting a pool, and this YMCA will have a pool, so maybe it can sort of help there as well. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Flowers?
Thank you. On the opposite spectrum of nurses and healthcare, I would like to share my appreciation for teachers. It's Teacher Appreciation Week. And my grandsons go to Tyrone Middle School, so they had a huge sign out there for them. I and others contributed financially to kind of get them some little treats throughout the day just to let them know. But it was nice to hear the kids, when I was picking up my grandsons on yesterday, talk about how they appreciated their teacher or said thank you. So thank you to all of the teachers, because I know it's not an easy job. And I would concur wholeheartedly with Commissioner Latvala when it comes to healthcare and all that they do to make sure that our loved ones are taken care of. T-BARTA will be having its last meeting on the 26th of May. And that meeting is going to be at the PSTA offices at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I'll share just the finality of everything, but that'll be our last goodbye. I'm not going to talk too much about the event that I attended with Commissioner Justice because I think he's going to want to talk about that. But it was, I thought, a very, very good sustainability and resiliency conference that was held last week. The speakers, I thought, were phenomenal. And the very last panel that was there had a representative, a young gentleman who was there from Puerto Rico. And he had to be 21, 23, somewhere,
looked really
if
young.
that. But when I tell you, and he's doing research work, but when I tell you that young man is just so well educated and the projects that they're doing to help with beach renourishment and whatnot, because their entire area is waterfront land. And so it was just, I thought it was phenomenal, every single panel and the featured speaker. So thank you for those that were able to even make the reception, those that were able to make the actual conference, and those who were not able to but wanted to. Thank you so much. It was a really, really good event. I look forward to next year. After our meeting today, I'm headed out to meet with the NACO National Housing Committee. So I'm going to be excited to report what we just passed here today when it comes to our housing things and how we're continuing to move some things forward. But I'm also hopeful that we'll have some news as it relates to asking the Department of Housing and Urban Development to look at the structure for their HUD Section 8 vouchers. A lot of those vouchers are going unused, and that's typically what you hear in the news. But what you're not hearing is they're going unused because they are not at the dollar value that's needed. So the vouchers could be for 1,000. The units are starting at 1,500 and above. And so, no, the persons can't use the voucher. And so I am hopeful that this dialogue and conversation will continue to move forward so that they will look at how they're structuring those vouchers and increase those dollar values so that they are in line with what the rents are in our communities. And then people will be able to utilize them. So I will share that information when I get back with you as well. And that is all.
Mr. Justice?
Thank you, Madam Chair. A lot of events and great information being shared in the last couple of weeks. The Housing Summit, I thought, was a tremendous success. A lot of good information from the panelists and the speakers that we had there. The Resiliency Summit, again, great panelists and speakers. And let me add my congratulations to our chair for winning the Herman Goldner Award for Regional Leadership. We appreciate your service and well-deserved recognition. I wanted to congratulate Lift Academy had a great night. I wish I could have been there, but we had a conflict. The Wounded Warriors Abilities Ranch had their annual gala on Sand Key. I think they raised over $250,000 to continue to support their mission, which this board supported several years ago. The Dream Center had their annual gala Saturday night. They had a great event, and they continue to move up. They started in a small venue last year. They've moved up to a larger venue this year. Hopefully next year we'll pack it out to continue to support the good work that they do throughout Pinellas County. Had a chance to attend the opening night of the Sunscreen Film Festival, which showed the Taste of Love movie, which is a traditional Hallmark-type movie, Commissioner Flowers. And it is a beautiful, beautiful love letter to the city of Dunedin, because the footage of Dunedin is absolutely incredible. And everything is mentioned. The names of the restaurants are mentioned. The name, it's not kind of fake. So it's a beautifully done movie. Hopefully you get a chance to see that sometime. Yesterday morning, I had the chance to serve breakfast with some other leaders from Northside Hospital as their activities for Nurses Appreciation Week. So I know there's a lot of other activities going on. If you get a chance to take part, the nurses get a kick out of it. And like we heard from one of the people this morning, sometimes the thank you is really, really, really important. I wanted to thank Barry and his entire team, especially Della, and everyone who put together the employee picnic that was just an incredible day for us to relax and hang out with some of the employees. And I can tell you the employees really thoroughly enjoyed themselves, probably more than anyone we've done in the past. Really, people were so glad it was back. So Della and your entire group, we want to thank you for everything you did there. And the last thing is, I guess Paul Sacco is listening to our meeting because he has sent the email out about the Lellman sanitation system. So you'll have a chance to read through all of that. But thank you, Paul, for jumping on that.
And what Charlie didn't tell you was that he was the auctioneer. That's how you say it, right? He was the auctioneer person at the fundraiser for the Dream Center, and I was waiting on the 14, 50, you know. But he sold everything. They bought everything from him.
And it was a chance to be on the microphone and make fun of Tom Almonte, so that was always a good night.
Very funny. Commissioner Peters.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll be attending the opioid abatement meeting tomorrow as we determine how we're going to spend the money that has been awarded through that lawsuit. And then next week, Tuesday, Lourdes and Karen and myself will be going, and Nick will be going to Miami to take a look at the new mental health services building that they created. It should be operational in a couple months, and we want to get in there before the patients are in there so we could really see it. Otherwise, we'd be limited on what we could see once there's patients there. And meeting with Judge Leifman, who is a wonderful, wonderful dear friend, who helped me with a great deal of my legislation for mental illness policies when I was in the legislature. And I want to kind of brainstorm with him on how they're going to be looking at their opioid abatement spending and plans. And I'm really excited to see the new things that they're doing for mental illness there as well. So we'll be reporting back on that next meeting.
Excellent. So I have several things to share with you. One that was on my desk this morning is from the Florida Department of State, letting us know that the National Park Service has officially listed on the National Register of Historic Places on April 26th, the Peninsula Fruit Company, which is located at 10,000 Gandy Boulevard North in St. Petersburg. And on behalf of Secretary of State Corey Byrd and our historic preservation staff, they are congratulating us on achieving this formal recognition of the historic significance of this property. And so they also want us to know that they appreciate our interest in preserving this important element of Florida's cultural resources. And then we also got a lovely letter. You may want to thank her when we see her next week, from County Administrator Bonnie Wise, thanking us for the mutual aid provided to Pinellas County water resources during the Sheldon Road Forest main blockage emergency event that occurred in February. Prompt assistance from your staff and their hard work and dedication helped the county avoid a significant environmental impact caused by the discharge of raw sewage. And what really impressed me with the letter that she wrote was the accolades that she gave to our Pinellas County Utilities staff. And so Kelly isn't here, but Barry, I'd appreciate it if you could let her know that they really, really, really appreciated how early our utility workers arrived and how much they did while they were there. They worked day and night throughout the entire weekend to keep wastewater off of the ground. So kudos to the utilities folks on their partnership with our Hillsborough County neighbors. Now, I want to talk about the employee picnic and thank Della and all of the staff for the work that they did, and share with you that I, your chair, was the first one there that morning to participate in the yoga class on the beach. And so I did, and promptly fell sound asleep, to which Tony came rousing me, trying to rouse me at the end and say, "Commissioner, we're done now. It's time for you to get up." that was just a lovely way to start the day. And then I promptly went over and participated in the line dancing that was going on. And I know Commissioner Flowers came along a little later and did as well. It was just lots and lots of fun. I think the staff really, really enjoyed it. And hopefully you'll all, for those of you that were not there, you'll get out there next year and make it a big priority, because I actually had to get off the line towards the end because my hands just wouldn't work anymore from how many employees we were serving, one after another, and the food was delicious. So thank you for all the hard work that went into that. It was really, really lovely. And the weather was phenomenal. Just could not have been better. Tomorrow, we have our Forward Pinellas Board meeting, and it's going to be a very busy morning. For those of us that sit on it, get ready, because there's lots of information. They're proposing amendments to our transportation improvement plan. They're proposing amendments to the countywide plan map. That's something to really pay attention to. The Pinellas Planning Council is beginning their discussions on our budget, and that's just to name a few of the things that we'll be discussing. The event that we had in Largo with our Affordable Housing Summit was, I thought, one of the best that I have attended. And the information that was shared there, for those of you that were not able to attend, I think would be absolutely startling. I know I was startled when I heard some of it, and especially as we get ready to go into our budget workshops, knowing that 1 in 3 of our families here in Pinellas County are struggling to afford housing is a really big deal, because it's one of Maslow's first things for human survival is housing. You have to have a roof over your head, right? So it was a great turnout. It was just great to see so many elected officials, civic leaders, and private groups sitting all together to hear the information. I was on a panel along with Mayor Brown and Mayor Welch and our new interim mayor, Brian Ongst, which was very interesting, I thought. So, and I don't want to repeat what everyone has said about the memorial for Sally Parks, other than to commend Commissioner Seal for putting all of that together. It was a great testament to a life well lived and a lady that was highly respected and very much loved throughout our county. I don't think Sally ever met a stranger. So that was lovely. And then I will be attending the San Antonio conference on May 17th for our all about tourism and where that's going and who the competition is, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll have a lot to say about that when we get back. And I don't want to repeat as well what everyone has already said about the Sustainability and Resiliency Summit, except to say that some of the most valuable information received was at the very end after lunch. And if I have one critique to give to the folks over there, at least make an announcement not to leave right after lunch, because a lot of folks left and missed that great information. And kudos to Commissioner Flowers for sticking through till the very end and talking about the young man from Puerto Rico. I do want to share with you, and Barry asked respectfully if we could add this topic onto our workshop agenda, because I do believe that the conversation that Dr. Young had with us at the very beginning of the conference is something that every commissioner needs to hear. And we as policymakers for our county, and some of us who serve on FAC, and we'll be going to that annual conference in June, need to be able to relate to the entire state. And it was primarily around the issue of beach renourishment, which, as you know, we have all been incredibly concerned about. From a policy perspective, though, when we look at what this county may look like 20, 25, or 30 years from now. We have got to be aware of some of the findings that were presented at that summit, and I'll save more on that when we have our workshop, because you were there and I think you heard it as well. So enough on that, and thank you for your congratulations on receiving the Herman Goldner Award. It was really more about my involvement in starting the compact, which at the time was only the 16th one in the entire United States that had ever been formed organizationally, and we started with about 22 regional governments, and now we have over 34 or 5 or maybe 6. I'm not exactly sure the number, but it is growing and people are paying attention, and that fact alone, that they are focusing on resilience and sustainability, will absolutely save lives in the future. So thank you for those of you that were able to attend. The beach renourishment issue as it relates to what's going on here in Pinellas, Brian and I and Kelly Levy continue to work with the Army Corps and the folks that we met at the White House to figure out a path forward, given all of the emails and letters that have gone back and forth with the Army Corps. And just yesterday, in a very lengthy conversation, we decided that, you know, we've got to have a face-to-face with these folks to clearly lay out all the pieces of the puzzle. Because every time we get anything from them, there's an extra piece that they haven't talked about before, or another letter, or another thing that happened 20 years ago or 25. And so stay tuned on that because there's more to come. I think that ends my report for today, except to say, coming up, the Skyway Bridge is supposed to be lit in red for Sickle Cell Awareness Day. Hillsborough and Manatee have already proved it, so we'll be looking at that. July 22nd is World Fragile X Awareness Day, whatever that means, I'm not exactly sure. And then on September 1st through the 7th, it's Ovarian Cancer Awareness Week. So just so you're all aware. All right, I think I said everything I needed to say. Is there anything else for the Commissioner Lapala?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. On your part about beach renourishment, the discussion to revisit the formula when it comes to capital projects versus advertising. Is that going to be something that we discuss during the budget process next month? Or when will that be coming up? Because with respect to the Corps, I'm not anticipating those folks necessarily giving us good news, so I just want to be prepared for the bad news. And there's no doubt in my mind that the main reason that people come to Pinellas County is the beaches. And we can advertise all we want to them to come here. But if there's not pristine beaches when they get here, they won't be coming back.
Absolutely, and I hear you loud and clear. And my thought is, and we can talk about it more, and I'll discuss it with Barry as well, I'd like to have that deep dive into our policy that I've asked for prior to bringing that forward with TDC. But we do have a meeting coming right up with the TDC, and based on your comments that you made before, I already have put that on their radar as something to discuss going forward. Also, our meeting here in May, which is the 17th, right, Tony? Oh, the 23rd. We're going to have an all-day meeting at the TDC, and it's really, first we'll get through our business portion, have lunch, and then the entire afternoon is going to be on budget. And so it'll be brought up again there as well. And yes, we will be having a workshop or a discussion, or again, however we, Barry, you wanted to talk about it?
So The question that obviously the communities want to know is, if we have to go it alone, what does it cost?
Right.
Well, you all have met with the mayors, you know, and they've expressed that concern to you and to me, and we share that same concern. But we also need to give you a picture of what that would cost to do it alone. So we're trying to work through that right now. They brought up the idea of whether you can put a breakwater or a jetty or other things out there. We're employing an engineering firm that does that type of work to tell us whether that's feasible or not. Ones that were put out there a long time ago. It's different permitting requirements. So, but the outcome and the cost will be based upon, in part, that answer. And so we're trying to go through that to where when we have this conversation, I can tell you whether you can put it out there to where you only have to re-nourish every 10 years versus if you don't, you got to do it every 4 years, you know? And so financially, it'll have a major impact. So we're going through that right now, and we will we'll have that as ready to be able to have that conversation as soon as possible.
That'd be good.
So keep in mind that no matter which way we decide to go, we still have to get the permits from the Army Corps.
Yes.
And number two, that's why I'm so dogged about developing some kind of a partnership with them, so that when we get ready to make the decision that we know is looming, we'll be able to have a real partnership, and they won't just automatically say no, is my point. Commissioner Peters had a...
Yeah, so mine is not beach nourishment, but it's still Army Corps. So Army Corps suddenly said no about the Grand Canal, and where are we on that?
Right. So they've
I
said,
did go out with the sheriff the other day, and it is significantly worse.
and we're moving forward on that project also. We've come up with a different way to where we're gonna reuse it ahead of the beach nourishment, but we're gonna have to pay for that. And so we're coming up with a plan on how to do that, and we want to
Is there a
act on that.
timeline?
Timeline?
Yeah, I thought it was later in the fall.
Yeah, I'll
We're-
tell you,
we're
we are
trying to
one
make
storm
that
away
happen
from,
this year.
we are one storm away from that being
Correct.
not fixable.
Yep.
So
And we're all aware, and it's unfortunate that these things take so much time to come back, but we want data that's actually good.
Well, it's unfortunate in that particular case where the Corps, so remember, we don't move sand. Everybody's got the impression that we have boats and people that go around and move sand all around the county, and we don't. We've got 3 people that are highly technical people that are out there, and they're looking for navigation and things like that. We don't have money set aside to remove canal sand. We only have done that where we did it through a special assessment. In that particular case, we had a great, we were gonna assess the residents, but Kelly, being judicious as she is, said, can we use that sand for the Paso Grill nourishment? And the Corps said, you gotta do a study. We did the study. They said, yeah, the sand looks good. And then it took over a year to get another answer from them, and they said no. So the frustration is shared. And so now, because of those delays that has continued to fill in, we're in a real predicament there. Now that is an open passageway, different than closed canals, which you wouldn't have enough money, if you put it on a machine to clear that. So it is different there, and so we're working on a solution for it, but we want to have that done this year.
You know, what's very interesting about that is, and I think you were there when this panel was up, Commissioner, when the one young lady was talking about all of the work that the Corps is doing with them right off of the coast of New Orleans, around in that area. Same thing that we are talking about as it relates to our Northern Beach area. They're doing that, and they get just complete. I mean, she really talked about all of the support that they've been getting from the Army Corps of Engineers, and I was trying to get to her to chat with her to be like, okay, so what'd you do special? That, you know, can you come over and show us? I did get a card, so I'm hopeful that maybe, you know, I can pass that along and that can be a part of the conversations. But it's just so frustrating because when you go down there and you see some areas, you see a lot of beach. You come to some places and it's like, okay, so the next storm that hits, half of this building may be gone. The back half of the hotel is going to be gone. So it's just, yeah.
It's not easy. I mean, it's really, really a difficult situation, and there's just no easy answer that's going to make everybody happy.
Sure.
So this is a big discussion. That's why I asked for a workshop to go deeper, diving into some of the data that they gave us, because I think that'll really be interesting to see how you all react to that. I know I was like, really, this doesn't sound good at all. Anyways, if there's nothing else for the good of the order, yep, it is. We are adjourned.